ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
It is Friday, October 18th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line is open this hour, 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. I hope you're all well rested. We had a busy night last night. The Thundering Herd getting the victory over Georgia State, 35-20. Marshall improving to 4-3, 2-1, and Sun Belt play. What the big story was in that game, obviously, was A.J. Turner. If he's not Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week, somebody needs to choose new voters because his performance was just outstanding. Had an 88-yard touchdown run late in the game, which sealed the win for the Thundering Herd, and that was touchdown number 4. Guess what? It's one of the longest runs in Marshall history. So the voice of the Herd, Steve Cotton, I don't know if you follow him on X, but after every game, he likes to get up and just look at some things, break down stats. He's a great historian for the Thundering Herd. And so we're going to borrow his research today and just kind of go over what he saw. First of all, 88-yard run is tied for the 6th longest in Marshall history. It is the longest run by a Marshall player since Tyler King's 90-yard run. It was a touchdown run against Colorado State and the 2017 New Mexico Bowl. So it's been a while since we've had a long touchdown run like that. And at Edwards Stadium, it's the 2nd longest run ever, surpassed only by Chris Parker's 89-yard run against Eastern Illinois in 1992. Hey, I was there for that game. His rushing performance was impressive because it puts him in the conversation among the nation's top running backs. 177 rushing yards on the night, and that is the most by a Marshall player since Kalen LeBourne. He rushed for 191 yards against Gardner-Webb in 2022. Turner's 4 touchdowns were the most by a Marshall player since Rasheen Ali scored 4 times against Navy in 2021. So we got to go back just a little ways, but still, it's an impressive night. Now, his season-long statistics as of this morning after the game, 717 rushing yards on the season. That makes him number 9 in the nation. He averages 102 rushing yards per game. That makes him 18th in the country. And his average of 10.1 yards per carry, which again, 717 yards on 71 carries, ranks number 2 nationally. The only person he trails is Noah Short, Army's Noah Short. He has 12.4 yards per carry. Also, Turner's the only player in the nation with 2 carries of 80-plus yards this season. The first was an 80-yard touchdown, which was against Stony Brook earlier in the year. And now, of course, last night's 88-yard touchdown against Georgia State. Also has recorded 4 runs or more. 4 runs or more. This is a pretty impressive category. 4 runs of more than 60 yards this season. Only Ashton Genty from Boise State has more with 7. So what a standout performance from A.J. Turner. He's got to see that ball more often. And hopefully, if teams are going to key on him, then that'll open up the passing attack a little bit more. So you got to keep them honest. You got to pass, you got to run, and if you're going to try to stop the run, then hopefully the passing attack can make up for that. And if you're going to try to stop the pass, well, you're going to have to contend with Mr. A.J. Turner. So what an outstanding performance from him last night. And, of course, we're going to get your text in this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Thanks to everyone who stayed up late with us last night as we went over the game. I thought it was... Honestly, I know some people were belly aching about the fact that Georgia State came back a little bit in this game, and I get that, but at the same time, I thought this was a good, resilient comeback for the Thundering Herd after losing to Georgia Southern. I think that Georgia State's probably a little bit better than you give them credit for. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. It's just sometimes you look at numbers, you look at stats, you go, they're terrible. And you don't put everything into context. They were playing hard out there. And they were resilient as well, and they came back. And, of course, Marshall sealed the deal. Hey, let's talk about the Herd going for 2 after the first touchdown. Going for 2 and getting it. I thought that was gutsy, and I liked it. I liked that call because at some points of the game I thought, okay, you know what? That 2-point conversion might be the deal here. That might seal the deal for this game because it's going to put a little bit more pressure on Georgia State. And so at times I thought, okay, if Marshall doesn't do anything big here, that might be the difference. And you got to keep that in mind. That might be the difference because Georgia State might have had to do something stupid or might have had to do something to kind of stay up with the Herd and like, okay, we're a field goal doesn't do it here. We get a touchdown, we got to come back and we got to get a field goal and then maybe we got to go for 2 on something. We got to come up with something here to match them. And of course, the Herd, got the big run at the end, won the game. So how do you feel about the victory now? Where are we at? At 4-3, 2-1 in conference play. The Thundering Herd still in the mix for the conference title, at least the East Division. So we'll break that down with you. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I thought there were some good performances as well. Not only from the offensive side, but the defensive side as well. Braylon Braxton getting to stay in the game the entirety. I like that. Hopefully, we're getting it to a point where we're going to be able to lock in on one quarterback. Again, all that's going to be coach's prerogative, but I hope that we get to the point where we're locking down on one quarterback. And I thought that Braxton looked good out there. 11 of 20, 132 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 72 rushing yards. Took off when he needed to. I thought Mike Green looked good out there, 11 total tackles, and he had a couple of quarterback hurries as well. I thought J.J. Roberts looked good out there. So there was a lot to be happy about. Marshall got more on the ground than the passing attack. I know that for a lot of Herd fans, kind of not the way Herd football fans were raised. Didn't grow up with the running attack being the more dominant of the two, but in this one it was a running game at the end. And I know Georgia State did get some yardage, but I thought Marshall made stops in key moments in this game. And I think that you got to look at time of possession as kind of being, that really doesn't matter. Georgia State had the advantage there, but Marshall was efficient. Marshall would have some quick strikes, and I got to give the game ball on the offense to A.J. Turner. 207 all-purpose yards, 4 touchdowns. If he's not player of the week in the Sun Belt, the voters, the people that have been given the vote, we need to be very judgmental of them and criticize them, because if this isn't a slam dunk for A.J. Turner, I want to see the player that gets this award. Mike Green, I thought, probably I give him my game ball if I'm giving just one on the defensive side, but he led the way, and he was, once again, very effective out there. So the Herd's got some time off now, can watch the conference kind of shape itself. We're hoping for a Georgia Southern loss at least. Be great if they could get 2, but the thing here is Marshall's got to win out. That's what's going to make this work. Marshall's got to win out to have any chance at getting that East Division title, and then you're going to have to hope that Georgia Southern falters a couple of spots. One loss and Marshall ties with them, and they have the direct tiebreaker. They beat the Herd. If they drop it a couple of times, and then we get down to the very end, it's Marshall possibly playing for an East Division title, I think Herd fans will be a lot happier with that. But still in the mix, nothing is given just yet, and nothing's been taken away. So I feel good about this one. So we'll get your text in this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. As we head into high school football on this Friday night, we've got a busy night across our Kindred communication stations. Huntington Highlanders are back in action. That should be a fun one tonight, and of course we'll have that for you a little bit after 7 o'clock right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Huntington taking on South Charleston tonight. That's also going to be our Kindred Communications digital game of the week. We've got the video stream on our Facebook page. Also, we've got Cabell Midland playing host to Parkersburg. That's going to be at 7 o'clock, 97.9 The River. We've also got a video stream, another digital game of the week, and that's going to also be on all our Facebook pages. And Spring Valley taking on Capital. That's coming up tonight, 7:30 on 92.7 and 98.5 The Planet. The Ashland Tomcats with the week off, so we've decided to give Dickie Martin the week off on that one. So busy weekend tonight as far as high school football is concerned. We've got baseball action going on. The playoffs continue. Cleveland beat the Yankees while we were all at the Marshall game yesterday, 7-5 in 10 innings. And Game 4 tonight, 8 o'clock in Cleveland. The Dodgers and the Mets, that series starting today on our sister station, Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340, with a 3-1 advantage in favor of LA. So you can tune into that game tonight. And that's going on right now. And that's on Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. We'll go to the text line. And I did remember this. I misspoke yesterday on the air, but I do remember this. Texter just wrote in and said, Paul, if you remember, I said A.J. Turner would have an 80-yard run to seal the deal. I was close, and he should be a Heisman candidate. I do remember that. I mistyped it. I said it was 88 yards. I think I misspoke yesterday on our post-game show as well because it was late. So you got to give me a little slack, but I do remember that. And someone else pointed that out as well last night. So 80-yard run was the prediction. 88 was the actual. The score was off a little bit. The texter said it was going to be 27-20, so that was close, but it turned out to be 35-20. So you got part of it right. Still, that's a better prediction than most. I think you beat the experts on that one as well. So right now, any prediction A.J. Turner would have a big run is probably going to be the easiest pick of the week when we pick the way the Herd wins the next game, because he can just break off one anytime. And you now got to respect that. You have to respect it. And it's going to be hopefully more of a package, an option for the Thundering Herd. If they're taking away the pass, well, you kill them with A.J. Turner. If they take away the run, then hopefully the passing lanes open up and you keep them honest. If you can mix both the run and the pass, the way this air raid is supposed to work, I think Marshall is going to have a nice second half of the season. Also, with the text line, I don't know if I can actually address this one directly, but I will read it. A texter said, Paul, it's a great game, but my beef is with the quality of the vendor items at the stadium. Texter didn't like the way that the pizza tasted. Said that the hot dogs were cold, pretzels were tough, and also cold. Said that they ran out of hot chocolate by the fourth quarter, and would like to see the Herd and the prices they charge and the selection be better. I can't address that directly, obviously. I can read your text on the air, and hopefully somebody will hear that. I always suggest if you've got an issue with something at the stadium or with Marshall, the best guy to get a hold of, and I don't say that lightly, is Ryan Crisp. Again, he handles all of the fan relations for Marshall University. So I would always suggest if you've got something that just didn't work out for you at the stadium, that's a guy I would at least reach out to. I don't know what would happen after that. Hopefully he can address it for you in a manner that maybe would make you happier, but I don't know what the answer is going to be. Thursday night, getting a little chilly out there. I just don't know. I know they had the food trucks. I didn't get a chance really to wander the concourse much, so I got to depend on you guys to tell me what happened. Texter also said, Paul, Marshall needs to not allow teams back into game. It's a definite theme this year. Cost us last week and almost cost us against Western and last night. And shout out to Reese Veerhoff. I agree with that. Thank you. I was good. I was happy with him. I was happy for him. And we heard Coach Huff a few days ago. I don't know if you got the comment where he was talking about why he was excited. Like, hey, look, we'd rather have a touchdown, but I'm glad you nailed that long field goal, so I'm happy for you. And so a lot of people gave Coach a little flack for that. He was excited for his kicker. And a lot of people took that as, oh, we're settling for field goals, and Coach is excited because we're settling for field goals. And Coach came out and said, no, I don't want to get a field goal. I'd rather have a touchdown. But I was excited for the kid. It was a long field goal. His teammates were excited for him. It was really good. So I know he got a lot of slack for that. So to be fair, I don't know why Marshall fans were giving him slack over that one. I mean, the kid kicked a long field goal. I'd be happy for him as well, and I am. Another one from the text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This one says, Paul, very impressive crowd yesterday. Student section was rocking. Student guest tickets are $20. I highly recommend it. Also, take advantage of the $2 Blitz. I bought 3 hot dogs yesterday for only $6 because I was early. That's one thing that you can take advantage of. If you get there early, because they open up the gates around 2 hours before the start of the game. And again, I got through a little easier because I'm going to be honest with you. I have that media credential. It affords me a little bit more of a privilege. I am appreciative of it. And I don't take what you go through lightly as far as what you have to go through to get into the stadium. So that's why I do appreciate you giving me the feedback and what Marshall can do better. But I get mixed reactions every game. Hey, it was great, or yeah, we had problems. So I don't know what the true answer is. If it's just there's some frustration still to be worked out from how to get in the stadium. I know with a Thursday night game, the crowd was rushing because a lot of people were getting off work and getting to the West Lot. I saw the West Lot. More people were showing up as we were getting off the air. Also from the text line, texter says, hello. Do you think Georgia Southern is the team to beat in the Eastern Division? I think they're one of them. I think JMU is still going to be in the conversation. But I think Georgia Southern, JMU still in the conversation. If Marshall has found its way, I think Marshall's still in the conversation. I mean, we'll get a better picture in a couple of weeks when we reconvene for football. I think we'll have a better picture. But right now, I think Georgia Southern, JMU, probably teams that I am looking out for. It's going to be interesting. I don't want to see a 3-way tie or anything like that, and hopefully Marshall can take care of its business, and then we can see maybe a team or two knock Georgia Southern out, help the herd out. All Marshall's got to do is win out, and let's hope that Georgia Southern at least gets a couple of losses. At the same time, let's hope that a couple other schools take a couple of losses. I'd like to just see Marshall win the East with its one loss. That would make me happy. The worst case, if Marshall wins out, is Marshall could find itself at least a co-East Division champion. Now, the important thing here is you want to go to the championship game, but I'm kind of hoping for some things to work out. We're going to find out here soon. We got a couple of weeks. We'll keep an eye on the Sun Belt Conference. Just because the herd isn't off doesn't mean we won't keep an eye on some of the standings. I've got an interview with Sun Belt Commissioner Keith Gill, and I want to play that when we continue. He was visiting the game yesterday, and I quoted a couple of things out there yesterday on my X account. I know Luke Creasy had a question he quoted out. So you got a glimpse of what he was saying to us yesterday, and you're going to hear that in its entirety when we continue. And we'll get more of your texts coming up, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's break this game down further. We got a lot to get into, but I've got Keith Gill when we continue. Hope you enjoy that, and we'll play that for you when we come back from break here on The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Saving money on everything now at Menards. We've got it all, from big to small. Fuel up with our great selection of groceries. Lots Matza Pizza is made with 100% real Wisconsin cheese with a variety of unique ingredients for everybody. Lots of Matza Pizzas are on sale now through October 19th. View the weekly flyer and all of our great deals happening this week today on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kitty Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Okay, everyone gather around. I have some exciting.
Running her shoe factory, Kendra talks the talk and walks the walk.
We're switching to green energy.
She needs a biotech consultant to erase her carbon footprint.
All operations will net zero emissions.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
The Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe heard what you're craving and is here to satisfy your appetite for value. Introducing the All Mine for $10.99 menu for a limited time only at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Enjoy bottomless Fiesta Bravo chips and salsa, your choice of a chicken sandwich, or a Hall of Fame cheeseburger, fries, and a drink for only $10.99.
All that for $10.99?
No, all mine for $10.99. No rules, any day, anytime. All mine for only $10.99 from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue in downtown Huntington.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. You can go farther and save on full synthetic with our oil change special. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life oil filter for just $35.99. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
We continue on with today's edition of The Drive. 304-396-TALK is our text line, 304-396-8255. So during the game last night, had a chance to catch up with the commissioner of the Sun Belt, Keith Gill. He was in town. Of course, it's a Thursday night game, so an opportunity for him to at least hit Huntington for a little while, be a part of the game, talk to the administration, sort of like the presidential visit. You've got the commissioner coming in town and being able to be seen, be heard, listen, And so he had a quick Q&A with some of us in the press box last night. And so I want to share that with you. And you've probably seen a couple of quotes from it already. He was really impressed with the brand that Marshall is. He had some nice things to say. And so I'm going to give it to you in its entirety. This is part of the media scrum last night, where the commissioner started with an opening statement and then fielded some questions from a few members of the media, mostly myself and my friend Luke Creasy from HD Media. We were primarily on hand with the questions, so let's hear what the commissioner had to say as we were hitting him with every question we could possibly think of last night. Here's his opening statement.
It's wonderful to be back in Huntington, so great night. Crisp fall night, a little different than the weather in Louisiana, and a really good football game, so it's great being on our partners ESPN, kind of one of the only college games on, and it's been a great game so far. So great to be here, and thanks for all of you being here.
So you get to come back every year, see Marshall. How far has Marshall progressed since becoming a member of the Sun Belt?
Marshall's a great member, great brand, great history. It was interesting watching their opening kind of video that they came out to and seeing plays that I'd seen, Randy Moss jumping over the Army guy and Byron Leftwich getting carried down the field, just things that, plays that I grew up watching. So it's really great to be here with all the history and tradition. And we were really lucky to have them as a part of the Sun Belt Conference.
What's one of your favorite things about being able to go to different sites and schools and make those? I know you're a big football guy, but outside of watching the game, what do you enjoy most about these visits?
I love the people. I really like being around, kind of watching. One of the great things about the Sun Belt is we were trying to find schools that have great football traditions with great fan bases who are really passionate. And when you come to Huntington, that's what you see, and I really enjoy that. That's one of the reasons I love college football. I mean, I love the game, but I also love everything that goes around it, the event, the tailgating, the passion, the tradition, the bands. And so that's what I really love seeing every time I come to a different place, is just kind of how they do college football. And no one does it better than Marshall. It's great, and so much tradition here, so it's a lot of fun.
What have you got a chance to experience since you've been here?
I just got here, so really just the game. So we landed in Charleston around 4 o'clock and drove over. But it was great. I got to spend time with Coach Huff, got to spend time with the officials, and got a chance to see President Smith and also spend time with Christian Spears. So it's been great. That's the great thing about these visits, is you get an opportunity to kind of connect with folks and see how they're doing and see, what things the conference can do to be helpful.
What does it mean for Marshall to be broadcasted on national television for this game?
I think it's a great infomercial. It's a great infomercial, obviously, for the conference, but it's great for the school. So it's a really good showcase. They're obviously, they're up, they're playing really good football. And so I think having this opportunity, one of the things about Saturdays is Saturday football is so crowded from a linear TV perspective. And so when you have these weekday games, it's a really good opportunity to kind of showcase who you are from a football perspective, but also from your institutional perspective as well.
Last year when you were here, they were just building the baseball stadium. And now that to make facility improvements like that, is that kind of what you want to continue to see out of some of these member schools? Because Marshall's not the only one doing stuff like that.
Yeah, it's important to invest, and particularly invest in baseball. Baseball is really important to our league. We got 4 teams in the NCAA championship last year in baseball. We want to continue to do that. Really, all the diamond sports. They also got a nice softball stadium here as well. Softball's a really important sport for us, so we really want to continue to invest. When you think about the Sun Belt last year, we had 37 programs either play in the NCAA championship or in a bowl game. So that's the most of any of our peer conferences, and we want to be good at everything. Certainly we invest in football, and that's important to us, but athletics generally are important, and we want to be good across the board.
See, the Sun Belt has a chance to have one of those playoff spots this year because of the change in format. Do you feel good about the Sun Belt's opportunity, this year, given what you've seen so far this first half of the season?
I really do. We've got some teams that can certainly compete in that space. It's wide open right now, and so we're just happy to have the opportunity. The fact that CFP expanded really gives us a legitimate opportunity to participate in that, and so we're just fired up with the new kind of process for the CFP. be the fact that we have a legitimate chance to participate, and we certainly have some teams that, if we're fortunate enough to get there, can do some damage in the college football playoff.
I know it's early in that process, but what have you learned so far from it, trying to figure out how to best set the league up for that success?
Yeah, I think it's really hard when you've got to be perfect, right? And so I think that's the one challenging thing, is to figure out, how do you schedule kind of in this new environment? And I think that we'll continue to learn kind of that process in terms of how to build the best schedule to position us in the best ways. But I think it's so early. I think we've got a lot to evaluate once we get through this first year and see what kind of adjustments we need to make to better position ourselves.
Basketball season right around the corner. Just finished up media days for that whole crew. What excites you about both basketball on the men's and the women's side?
Yeah, I think building off the success we had last year. We had 2 top 75 teams from a net standpoint, multiple top 100 teams, certainly on the men's side, and then we won a game in the NCAA tournament, which is what our basketball strategic plan is about, is positioning us that way. I think on the women's side, we need to get a little better. We have been a really strong women's basketball conference, and so I think we're going to be moving in that direction again this year as well, trying to get to that top 12, top 10 RPI, or net, I should say, in that regard. So I think there's room for improvement, but we're making great progress. So I'm really excited to see kind of what the basketball season holds for the Sun Belt.
I know you're always liking to see, when new coaches come into the league, and, obviously Marshall has a new coach on either side. Just how much do you think they bring to the table in their spots?
I think they bring a lot. I was fortunately down on the field when the women, when they got their rings for their championship last year. That was really exciting. Got a chance to talk to their new head coach. And so you think about winning a conference championship last year, such a great accomplishment for Marshall women's basketball, and a great chance to kind of build off of that. And certainly their men's team has had some success as well. So I think that, like I said earlier, Marshall has a great brand, and so I think the league is better when Marshall is good. And that's really in all sports, and certainly they made some good hires, and we're looking forward to see how well they do in their new positions.
How has soccer helped propel this league? Because a few years ago, that was something that didn't exist. Marshall comes in the league, you have an opportunity, and now it's just taken off. How has that helped propel the brand, not just for men's soccer, women's soccer, but the league as a whole?
I think it's been really important for our league. You think about last year, we had three Sweet 16 teams. Right now, we've got 3 teams in the top 10. About to have really a top 3 clash when Marshall and West Virginia kind of play later. And so I just think soccer is really important. Last year we got 5 teams in the NCAA tournament. We're expecting something similar this year as well. And we've been really good. And Marshall has been a big part of that. And really the state of West Virginia, right? Because West Virginia has been good as well, but Marshall has been a big leader in that. And so soccer is really important. We want to continue to invest in it and continue to grow, and think it can be a really kind of really good thing for the league and our brand.
And outside of football and basketball, is there another sport that maybe you're seeing that could be a potential growth opportunity here in the near future?
Yeah, I think women's soccer, we had multiple teams in the NCAA tournament last year. I think also volleyball, we had 4 teams in the NCAA championship in volleyball. And then obviously baseball and softball. Those are real important to our league, the diamond sports. We had 7 NCAA tournament teams last year in those sports. And so we'll continue to invest and grow in those sports as well.
As Sunbelt Commissioner Keith Gill, he was speaking with the media last night during the Marshall game against Georgia State. A lot to decompress there. Of course, soccer I thought was a big deal for the Sunbelt. There's a lot of hope that women's basketball will continue to rise. Feel good about where men's basketball is right now in this league. And, of course, he really likes the brand that Marshall has and what it means to the Sun Belt. So a lot of good things there from the commissioner. We'll get your text in just a few minutes. 304-396-TALK. That's our text line. Again, 304-396-8255. More on this Friday edition. Coming up, it's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey, Tri-State, there is a place to shop at. The Huntington's Peddlers Mall is now open in the historic Central City District in Huntington. Over 200 vendors specializing in vintage antiques, home decor, furniture, collectibles, new mattresses, and everything in between. Peddlers Mall, located 800 14th Street West in Huntington. It's the place to go. Open 7 days a week. Visit anytime. Check out the website, peddlersmall.com, for more information. It's the Tri-State place to shop, Huntington's Peddlers Mall.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, Ray Crabtree, 304-736-8181. In Milton, Russ McRae, 304-743-9318. And in Lavallette, Jason Elkins, 304-529-7555.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Okay, everyone gather around. I have some exciting.
Running her shoe factory, Kendra talks the talk and walks the walk.
We're switching to green energy.
She needs a biotech consultant to erase her carbon footprint.
All operations will net zero emissions.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We continue on with this Friday edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's go back to our text line. Texter says, Paul, I was in the house last night cheering on the Herd, and the game was far more interesting than a 35-point beatdown. But I am concerned about the number of penalties against the defensive backs. This is happening way too often. I'm not going to criticize the officials. I don't want to get penalized. I'm not going to criticize the officials, but I think some of the officiating has been less than stellar this year. I know that's easy for me to say. Also, I think if you're going to play a little aggressive, sometimes you're going to have things happen. They've got a couple of weeks now. The good news here is Marshall's 4-3, 2-1 in the league, and you've got a couple of weeks now to work on yourself, go back, self-scout, evaluate. I think this team, with this break in the schedule, has an opportunity to really get better. And then in a couple of weeks, I think the Thundering Herd comes back, and then I think that's going to be the best time to sort of reevaluate. Okay, where is this team at? Where it was, where it's at now? Did it improve with the time given? And this is all on Marshall and his coaching staff here this next couple of weeks to really maximize this time off. So the good news is Marshall got out of a short week situation with a win. The only disappointing thing here so far, as I look at this schedule, is Marshall lost a game in conference I thought it could have and should have won, and that's Georgia Southern. That's the first thing I'm disappointed with. The second thing I'm disappointed is I think Marshall could have and should have beat Virginia Tech. So right now, I'm looking at a team that record-wise should be better than what it is. It's 4-3. I think it should be At worst, 5-2. And honestly, I think this team could have beat Virginia Tech. And with the one loss being Ohio State. And that's, I think, a fair evaluation. Now, you can't go back and take any of that stuff back. So this is a 4-3 team right now, 2-1 in league play. And I think that the record is not truly indicative of what this team is. And I think also we've got an opportunity for Marshall to run the rest of the way, be in some meaningful games in November, and have an opportunity to put itself in a position to maybe win that East Division title. That would be a nice accomplishment for this team. That's what we've been looking for. That's sort of the standard. That's actually the standard, I think, for what Marshall football fans want. It's, as Bobby Pruitt said years ago, and it is stuck. So anything less than has always been deemed a failure. But when Bobby Pruitt said, we play for championships, when you get off that standard, then the season's a failure for a lot of fans. Not, hey, this is a good season, got to go to a bowl game. Bobby Pruitt put it out there, and he set the standard years ago. We play for championships. And that is stuck. And that's where I think a lot of Herd fans are right now. Back to our text line. Texter says, Paul, how many fans do you estimate returned to their seats after halftime compared to the start of the game? I'm going to say half, maybe. Just looking at it last night, I know the official attendance was a little over 20,000. I don't have the actual official number in front of me. I can look for that here in a second. But the number was over 20,000 as far as the official attendance. It was 20,703. That's the official attendance. And I think that for a lot of fans at halftime, it's getting a little colder. It's getting a little later. And so I do think several fans, maybe close to half, checked out only because a lot of people had to get home. This is a Thursday night game. This is a weeknight game. They've got work to tend to in the morning, or they've got kids to get home. They've got something that can't be helped. So I think a lot of people checked out. And, of course, a lot of people are going to do that anyway, and they can stay the entire game. They're just going out and they're going to tailgate at halftime, and they're not coming back. There are a lot of people who set up with the goal of just hanging out on the tailgate lot. I've known people over the years, and they're not necessarily on the west lot, but I've known people over the years, their only purpose for going to the game is to tailgate. That's it. They don't even sometimes go to the game. They just go and they tailgate, and that means hanging out, cooking out, drinking, having fun, tailgating. You get what I'm saying? And so for some, tailgating's the event, not the game. It's the tailgate. And I think that's a big reason why you see a lot of people vacate the football stadium at halftime. And this has been going on for years. This hasn't been a new situation here. This is not new. Marshall would come in and just blow out a team in the Mid-American Conference. The fans would leave at halftime. Their appetite sated, and they're like, yeah, well, great. Marshall kicked their tails. All right, let's go tailgate. And I get it. This is an entertainment product for a lot of fans, but at the same time, I like going for the game. I mean, that's me, and I'm not saying I'm better than anyone else, but I like going for the game. Other people have different reasons for going, and other people had different situations. If you had kids, if you brought kids and you needed to get them home, okay, you got to leave early. If you have a trip to take that's more than an hour or so, maybe, okay, I came in for the game, and I stayed as long as I could, and then I had to get out of there. It was a Thursday night game. One is fine. I mean, I don't want to see Marshall playing. We've joked about that. I don't want to see Marshall playing the Tuesday night game. I don't want to see the action for Marshall or the Sun Belt. I don't want to see those weird games. But again, There have been times where Marshall played on a Friday night. I remember Marshall playing Central Florida on a Friday night years ago and thinking to myself, who's going to show up to that? It's Friday night. It's high school football in this area. That's a big deal. And there's like 30,000 fans there, legit 30,000 fans watching Marshall play UCF. And so it just depends on the situation if you're going to see fans stick around. You know, cold night. I mean, it wasn't that cold, but, you know, it was a nice, brisk, crisp night. A lot of fans had to get home Thursday night game. Friday night's a little bit different. Friday night, you don't have to go anywhere on Saturday if you're looking at it in that point of view. Because, okay, I don't have work in the morning. I can sleep in. You know, we can get home late. We can come to the game on Friday night. We can stay. We can get home Saturday, you know, if we're staying over, if we're going to drive far. I mean, it's probably more of a hardship to get in on a Friday night than to get out. But people are always going to tailgate. A lot of people spend a lot of money for the privilege to be on the West Lot. And so they set up. A lot of people go to the game to socialize. A lot of people, that's just the event. It's tailgating. It's not the game. It's the entire experience. And for a lot of people, it's just the game. And sometimes people who are there just for the game get mad that people who are there for other things other than the game aren't in the stadium. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Final break coming up. More of your text when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Looking for a night of fall fun, excitement, and giving back? Join us for the All Aboard Fall and Halloween Express on Saturday, October 26th at the Willow Ridge Event Center in Barbersville. Celebrate the season with live entertainment, delicious food and drinks, and the perfect mix of fall and Halloween festivities, all while supporting a great cause. Proceeds benefit the Developmental Therapy Center, helping children with special needs. Tickets are going fast, so grab yours today. Visit DTC's website at dtchuntington.org for tickets and sponsorship opportunities. Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Hey, it's Lex and Terry, K&B Pest Control, locally owned and operated in Huntington, West Virginia, serving the Tri-State.
Man, these guys are great. They do residential and commercial, indoor, outdoor, free estimates. These guys are the best, I'm telling you.
This is when the critters come out. High customer ratings, satisfaction guaranteed, large fleet, crew, meaning same-day appointments, and quick service.
All you got to do is pick up your phone and call Patrick, the owner. Okay, that's what you got to do. Or Becca. They're standing by to take care of you guys. It's K&B Pest Control. pestcontrol.com online, and give them a call, man. They got a great Facebook page. Go ahead and like it. They got a phone number. We'll give you that. Why not? It's free. 304-523-4281.
Or go to kmbpestcontrol.com. They will tell you what everything looks like, what you're looking for, if you're getting a pest problem, and get on top of it. They're the best. Make sure you call Patrick once again, who is very passionate about his pest control, or Becca. K&B Pest Control. They'll kill for your business.
Trust the guys with over 40 years of experience at K&B Pest Control.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Final segment for today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line, it's open, 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. You can find me on X as well, at Paul Swann. And if you're not following, I'd appreciate that as well. I've been scanning some of those ats from last night and this morning. A lot of people questioning the attendance. That was a big one. A lot of fans who maybe weren't there, watching it on TV, thought, "What is he thinking? That's not right." And a lot of people pretty much thought that A.J. Turner was pretty much the hero of the game. So if you want to reach out on X, formerly known as Twitter, I do see them all. It's at Paul Swann. Back to the text line. Texter says, Paul, when I go to the game, we always try to stay until games end. 1 year in November, last home game against Ohio U, it was cold and rainy day. Yeah, there's going to be some times where it's just going to be plenty nasty out there. And honestly, I'm not going to fan shame anybody. If you come to the game and you stay as long as you can and you got to go, you got to go. If it's cold out there and say you've got an elderly person with you there, they love Marshall, but do you want to keep them out in the cold? I mean, we're talking really nasty elements there. Or you got kids and you want to get them sick. You gotta make the best decision for yourself there. For a lot of fans, we come to the game, we see half of it, we get what we want out of it. Herd was up. Marshall leading. Looks like it's going to be a Marshall win. All right, we're good. We're going to leave, or we're going to hit to the tailgate where we can get some hot cocoa. We'll be under the tent. We got the heater. We got some wings, all kinds of stuff. And so people are going to leave. Some are going to stay. I'm privileged. I get to be in the press box. I'm absolutely privileged. I'm not going to argue that point, and I know that I'm privileged. And I'm thankful for the opportunity that I have and the opportunities that I have been given to be where I'm at for a lot of games. And so a lot of Herd fans don't have necessarily that benefit. And so they got to make their decisions. Hey, do we stay? Do we go? How long can we stay? How long can we be out here? If it's really a nasty night, okay, do we really want to sit through this? I mean, a lot of people, the experience is going to be better at home, to be quite honest. TV sizes are bigger now. People 55, 65, 75, bigger TVs. The food's probably going to be just as good, if not better, because you made it. So a lot of people are going to make decisions based on what's going to be best for them, and I get it. And that's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with you on Monday right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Don't forget, we got, for those of you listening live, coming up later on this evening, it's going to be Huntington High School football. The Highlanders back in action tonight. We've got a kickoff set for 7:30. The Highlanders will be taking on South Charleston. Now, that game will be right here. You can stream it live on our Facebook page as well. So you get an opportunity to watch the video, or if you can't watch video, you keep your radio locked right here, or you download the app, and you can listen to it wherever you're at. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with you on Monday. Hope you had a great weekend, everyone. Herd wins this weekend. Should make everyone happy. 35-20. I know I'm going to be happy.
Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRBC, W231 BS Huntington.